Yes, you guessed right. She is in the house. Etiquette coach Janet Adetu.
Good morning, Auntie. Good morning. How are you?
We missed you last week.
Yes.
Good to have you back with us.
Thank you so much. Good.
So we're talking telephone etiquette today.
And the teenager.
Oh, not us, the teenager.
The teenager.
Great, okay.
Because I think it's
they're permanently on the phone.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, yes, the phone is a gadget that we can almost do without nowadays. And they're even encouraging our elderly parents to learn how to use the WhatsApp.
Smartphone. Yes.
You know, but I think with the teenager, most times when they have a phone or they're allowed to have a phone, they feel very grown up.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, and the world is their oyster. And I think research has actually told us that a huge population of teenagers actually have a phone, and an even larger population actually have a smartphone. They have internet at their fingertips. So the world is definitely their oyster. Indeed. But then again, there are issues. It's good to have a phone, but because of so many things that are going on, you're finding some schools are actually banning the use of mobile phones while the students are on campus. And the only reason why they're even allowing them to have it is because parents have fought the fact that for emergency, they need to get in touch with their child, and I can agree with that.
Yeah.
I remember when my children were actually schooling in Accra, Ghana, there was one strange rumor that said a bomb was planted in their school. You can imagine as parents, we were livid, and they had to take the kids out. We were trying to get hold of our own children. Some of them said, oh my God, if my child had a phone, I would know where my child is. And for like 4 or 5 hours, we didn't know what was going on. And we couldn't get access. Of course, they blocked up the entire area, so parents couldn't get access to their children. And it was on the back of that the school then said, okay, we will waive a bit of this no phones thing, and you can have a phone, but you have to keep it in a locker when you come to school. You can only take it out at the end of
classes.
Hours. So then it made a lot, there were major reasons why they stopped it. But anyway, what are the real issues with teenagers when it comes to the phone and where the etiquette actually comes into play? The real issue is how they use the phone. Are they phone savvy? And then again, the amount of rudeness that they exhibit on the phone, lack of manners.
Yes.
Okay. And
who's this?
Yeah. There you go. There you go.
What?
But what are the real problems that the phones are bringing? If we have to take it from that angle, first and foremost, you know that there's a lack of face-to-face conversation anymore. And somehow our teenagers are actually experiencing withdrawal symptoms because you find them in their room all day long
on the phone.
And they're on the phone.
Yeah.
So they're disconnecting from the world, really, let alone disconnecting from the family. They're disconnecting, period. You then find that they don't really have genuine friendships because the friendship on the phone, you know how you can act up on the phone, is very different from how you will express yourself or how the person will see how you're expressing when you are face to face.
But what do you expect if they're adults, they see their adults withdrawing from themselves and getting locked on, glued to their phones all day?
Yes, somebody has said that as well. That, you know, when they see you, okay, for instance, there's an issue with how families are connecting. You know, back in the days, we all have dinner together at the table and it's like, how was your day? And everybody's talking about what happened to them that day. There's some conversation and you sort of like get to know what's happening to your child. And most times some parents get the sense of if their child is being bullied when they have those little conversations. But when you don't get that anymore, it's an issue. And then somebody said, okay, if the children really are using the phone at the dinner table, it's because you are too busy looking at your emails as well at the table and they're copying you. So are you leading by example as an adult? Because sometimes even as adults, business is so important to us that every tiny moment we're on our phones as well. So what examples are we?
Are we leading? Be a rule at home. During meal times, no phones.
And then you get this thing. So the phone now is either the conversation is short and sharp, monosyllable. You call your child, yes, mom, I'm fine, okay. Or sometimes it's like, don't call me, I'm busy. Don't call me. If you have a teenager or a grown-up child for that matter, it's like sometimes, especially if they're boys, as a mother, you're pestering them.
Tell me about it.
You're pestering them. They don't want, yes, mom, what is it? Any problem?
Yes.
And phone is down. You know,
they almost ask you point blank, what do you want?
What you want, yes. And then if it's a girl, then you might be lucky. But even at that, too, sometimes if you're calling too much, it's a problem for the teenager. So the conversations are short and sharp. Or the conversations, if they're rumor mongering among their friends, the problem is you're on the phone too long. What exactly are you saying? When are you going to study? You're on this phone. And they're chatting away and nothing productive. So you find them on the phone all the time. Let's not even talk about the laptop, but the phone, you know. And I remember a friend of mine said her son always got phone calls around 10 p.m. at night. And she had to pick the phone one day from her son's hand and say, who is this? Does your mother know that you call my son every day at this? Of course it was a girl, you know. And she had to tell her off, say, don't call my son at this time of the day. It's too late. You should be in bed sleeping. And so where I'm going there is that a lot of parents have no idea what their children are doing with their phone. And I remember doing my training session, and I asked them as an average, what time do you turn your phone off? You would not believe it. They actually said, on average, 3 a.m. In fact, until we go to sleep. It's under my pillow.
Oh dear.
And that's 3 a.m. in the morning. So it's a big issue. And of course, they're losing touch